Today on the 5-Minute Sales Training, how to sell to boomer buyers at an active adult community. Welcome back, everyone, to another 5-Minute Sales Training. We continue our series on selling to different generations. And today we're talking about how to sell to baby boomers, particularly at an active adult community. To do that, I went to an expert, Tim Harding at The Villages in Florida, the largest active adult community in the world, for some insights. Tim and I sat down. I think you're going to enjoy this. Tim Harding, greetings. Good to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, Jeff. Pleasure to be with you.
Let's talk about the active adult buyer. And I know that this is a buyer that obviously you spend all of your time with. When you contrast that buyer with other buyer profiles, what is it about the active adult buyer that makes them unique in personality, in your opinion?
One of the things we absolutely love about working with the active adult buyer is the wealth of life experiences that they bring with them. And so it's, many of the folks that we're serving, they've had the opportunity to raise their family already. They've been successful in their career. They work really hard and live responsibly to be in the position that they really can choose where it is they want to spend the rest of their life. And often they have a lot left that they feel like they can give and they can offer to the world. And they're really at a place where they're trying to figure out where the best place is for them to complete that next chapter of their story. So it makes it a lot of fun to work with those folks.
But one of the things that I hear a lot from new home sales professionals is that the active adult buyer tends to take a lot longer to make a decision, that they are very risk averse. They can't afford to make a mistake. What is your experience in that, and how do you deal with it?
That's a great one, Jeff. I think one of the things that we enjoy about working with that buyer is they've had a wealth of sales experiences. And I think one of the biggest things we can do that really helps is show a genuine interest in their story and getting to know them. Because if we can really understand what that motivation is, what it is they want to improve in their life, and why they're thinking about leaving wherever they are in the first place, it really can make a big difference, because there's so much we can show them in the villages, right? But if we understand what it is they're wanting to do in this next chapter of their journey, we can give them a very tailored experience and really make that decision much easier for them. Once they've made the decision, this is where they want to be, the easy part is finding them the right home.
What's interesting to me, you mentioned that they've got a lot of experience in having purchased several homes. This is not their first rodeo. They sort of know how this process works. And they've got all of that experience. I find that there are some salespeople out there that want to short circuit that conversation, because in my experience, at least, you get a good relationship with an active adult buyer, and they like to talk. And there are a lot of salespeople who are like, I would rather you not talk. I think you and I take a different stance on that, right? We kind of want them to talk, yes?
So true. And something I've heard you say often is they want to talk, but they want to find somebody that cares enough to listen. And that makes such a difference in our world. If you open that door and give them the space to share and really get to know them, they do want to build that type of relationship. And then I think we can demonstrate that we're a different type of salesperson than maybe they've experienced prior to this point.
What makes active adult buyers more difficult to work with?
Well, I prefer to think of it as a great opportunity rather than difficult.
Fair enough.
But I would say that they have the ability to very quickly decide whether or not you really are interested in serving them. And I think they make that decision very, very quickly. So I think those experiences that they've had where it's been all about the salesperson, they've had a lot of those already to this point in their life. And so I think the challenging part for us is we got to really demonstrate that we care enough to listen to them, like we're talking about. But then it's also, how do you then demonstrate that by what you're showing them? Are you really listening to them? Not just in terms of, I look like I'm listening, but am I really understanding what your needs are, what you were hoping to experience in the villages? And then am I demonstrating that to you? And the reality is, if we don't do that, we could be the reason they don't get the opportunity to come experience their life here.
What advice would you give to a salesperson who perhaps their entire sales career, they've been working with first-time buyers and maybe first-time move-ups, but they've never really worked with an active adult buyer? What one piece of advice would help them the most if they're moving to a place into a sales environment where they're going to be working with active adult buyers?
So probably my best advice for that person would be to be sure that you're really doing it for the right reasons. I've had the opportunity to work here with someone I admire very much who often reminds us, don't chase after the money, chase after providing great experiences to your buyers. Love what you do, love who you do it with, love who you do it for. If you do those things, the results, the money, all the success, those things will follow. But be sure that you're in it for them, not just for you. And I think you'll do very well with this market.
Tim Harding, a wealth of experience and really, really strong wisdom. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Well, there you have it. There's a tremendous insight on the boomer buyer from Tim Harding. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We sure appreciate it. And until next time, learn more, turn more.